Hi, today I'm going to explain the difference between an Electrohome G05-802 monitor and the Wells-Garner 19v2000. There's a lot of information on the internet. Some of it is right, some of it is incorrect. Just be careful what you read out there about different compatibilities. Most of these parts are interchangeable, and I'm going to demonstrate to you with this video to show you what parts you can interchange and how you can make those work in a different monitor. This will probably be a couple part video since I don't have a YouTube account, so they restrict the size of the video. So I'm going to have to make this a couple part video. I'll link it below, tell you how many parts actually belong to this video, so you when you hunt around for these, you can kind of piece it together. But this will be part one. I don't know how many parts I'm going to have till I get it all done, see how big this video is, but I'll list it below so you know how many parts I have. So anyway, let's just get into it. Vector monitor, as you know, is quite different than a raster monitor. Vector monitors were basically used in the late 70s, early 80s. A lot of Ataris used them. Some other games adapted to them too, just because the picture looked more crisp and precise than a raster monitor. Where a vector monitor is basically a radar screen is where it was adopted from, and it's basically has one beam. It paints an image on the screen, so I have a nice crisp, precise image. The only drawback with that is the games got more advanced later on. They had to put more information on the screen, and the beam couldn't keep up to draw all the information, so that's why the raster eventually won over. But the vector is actually a lot easier, I think, to work on than a raster one. There aren't as many parts. As you can see, a chassis board is a lot smaller than a raster monitor board would be. The circuit is a lot easier to follow through. The only drawback is parts availability is a little harder to find on these now, where a raster is newer, so those parts are still readily available. But anyway, I'm going to show you the difference here now. Basically, I have the two different ones here. This is a Wells-Garner 19v2000 high voltage cage. And this is a G07, Electrohome G07. This is the G07, G05-802. This is the 19v2000. You see the size of the difference. They basically do the same thing. The pinouts are a little different too. That when this mounts on, the pinouts are a little different. This comes from the bottom up, and this would be on the side, so the pins would come in a different area. You will notice too that there's a couple pins missing on the G05, where the 19v2000 has an extra pin in there. They are still, you can still plug those connectors in there. I believe one of them is just an extra ground in there, but later video I'll show you when I hook these up, what it looks like, and the plug will work on both of these. You might have to do something a little different. I'll show you how to do that, but they are interchangeable. You can put either chassis in either monitor and it will work just fine. There's also the G05-802, the Electrohomes. They made a 19-inch version and a 15-inch version of these, and these chassis are all interchangeable with those two. There's no difference. The 15-inch or 19-inch chassis or high voltage cage you have to hunt down, they're all interchangeable with those as well as these you can put in there too. Okay, so that's the high voltage cages there. The chassis boards again are also interchangeable. This is a 19v2000 Wells-Garner chassis board, and the easiest way to identify these is the resistors are missing. There's two power resistors up here in the G05s that that I'm sorry, this is the G05-802 chassis. Get that straight now. This is a G05-802 Electrohome chassis, and these resistors are missing where the V2000 has those resistors in place. So again, this is a G05-802 chassis, and it is interchangeable with the V2000 as well. Now this one has an extra pin on there, which if you hook this into a V2000, you have to bend this pin out of the way or just remove it if it's going to be permanently in there, and then the plug will directly fit in there. This is the 19v2000. As you can see, it has those resistors on top, where the G05 does not. And they're, like I said, they're interchangeable. These plugs are all the same. There's no difference on pinouts or anything you have to do. And this one has, as you can see, the pin is a little different. Like I said, it has the pin moved up 1 point, where this one has it moved down. So you just, like I said again, you have to just bend down the G05 pin to make the connection, depending what harness you have. But these are both interchangeable with any cage. This is the way they come. This cage usually comes with this one, and this cage comes with this one. The longer cage is the V2000 again, and this is the G05. But again, you can mix match these cages, mix match the chassis boards, no problem, in a 15-inch or 19-inch monitor. Now with that said, there is an earlier version Atari made, which is the Electrohome G05-801, and that one is